Mr. Sethi.
Mr. Sethi explained that a percentage of every bribe was paid higher and higher up, and that at the top, at least in theory, the Prime Minister herself received a portion of every bribe paid. The ward officer was accountable to the commissioner was accountable to the Urban Affairs Minister, the Urban Affairs Minister was accountable to the Chief Minister, and the Chief Minister was accountable to the Prime Minister. So any bribe paid somewhere along the line would have to be distributed upwards, with each person in the hierarchy receiving his or her share so that the operation could work smoothly. When our application for the NOC was again refused, Prabhupada and Mr. Sethi concluded that we should apply for municipal permission without the temple because only the temple required the NOC. And Mr. Sethi felt confident that if we didn't have to get the NOC from the police, he could get the permission for the rest of the project, the residential quarters and preaching areas from the municipal commissioner. So Prabhupada agreed that we give Mr. Sethi 5,000 rupees. As Mr. Sethi pursued the permit, he kept Prabhupada informed on a regular basis. We are definitely getting it in 2 weeks. He would report, we are definitely getting it in 1 week. We are definitely getting it in 3 days. And then something would come up and he would say, well, it's going to take another 2 weeks. Eventually, he told Prabhupada that he needed another 5,000 rupees. Prabhupada called for a meeting with Bhagavan and me to discuss the whole affair. He asked whether we thought Mr. Sethi had swallowed, kept the 5,000 rupees, or whether he had given it to Mr. Pai and Pai had kept it, whether we should give Mr. Sethi the additional funds. He discussed the matter with us all evening from shortly after 8:30 until almost midnight, asking us for our opinions. When we presented until at almost midnight, asking us for our opinions. When we presented the view that we should not give the money to Mr. Sethi, Prabhupada said why we should, and we became convinced. Then we were convinced that we should give the money. Prabhupada would present arguments that why should not, and again we became convinced. There were so many factors to consider whether Mr. Sethi would give the money or the full amount to the commissioner. Full amount to the whether the commissioner, having taken the money, would give the permission or whether he might take the amount and keep asking for more. So many complexities. In this way, Prabhupada kept going back and forth. I started to doze off, but Bhagavan continued to listen attentively and respond. Finally, Prabhupada declared, we will not do this. And it was concluded that we would not give Mr. Sethi the money. Then he stood up from behind his desk and walked out of the room, leaving Bhagavan and me stunned and exhausted. We looked at each other, offered our obeisances to Prabhupada's vacant asana, and retired for the night.
So this is so sweet, huh? Prabhupada is always he always deals like this. He will, even in scientific arguments, he will argue both ways. If they say one way, he will say argue the other way, and he will convince them. And if he says the other way, he will argue the opposite way, and he will again convince them. So it's a very interesting quality of Prabhupada. Yes.
The next morning, Bhagavan and I were a little apprehensive about how Prabhupada would present his decision to Mr. Sethi and how Mr. Sethi would take it. And we waited anxiously for Mr. Sethi to arrive in Prabhupada's room. As usual, he came around 10 and sat on the floor.
1 minute, Mataji. Was I audible? I was saying something.
Yes.
I was saying how
Yes,
Prabhupada is very expert in. Okay. So I was wondering what happened suddenly to the system. Okay. Please continue, Mataji. The next morning, Bhagwan and I were surprised about how Prabhupada presented the decision to Mr. Sethi and his house. Because Mr. Sethi is a very loyal personality. And on top of it, they had a very friendly relationship also with him. And he was very surrendered to Prabhupada. So The governmental dealings are such that they keep asking for more and more. We know how. Whenever you get into any some projects dealing with the government thing, we know how it goes. It's very difficult to to get the work done from them in India. So this every time asking for 5,000, Prabhupada was very disturbed. I mean, not disturbed. I mean, he was doubting whether where it is going really. Are we going in the right direction? So that's why he is having a confidential discussion with Giriraj Maharaj and Bhagwan Prabhu. Prabhupada is trying to analyze the situation from from all perspectives. So now it so happens that Prabhupada has decided that we will not give money anymore. And the next morning, Bhagwan, so they were worried that how Prabhupada is going to present it, or is he going to ask us to do it? It will be difficult for us to speak like this to Sethi, who has helped us so much, who has helped us so much in all difficult. He stood by us when everybody else left us. So all these things are there, right? So Prabhupada was also discussing all this. See, from 8 till almost midnight, 4 hours, they are discussing just this one topic. How much Prabhupada is careful. One thing is how much Prabhupada is careful about Krishna's money. Second thing is also he wants to move the things forward. It's not that we are giving money and we don't know where it is going and everything is stalled right there. So many times we see, especially in building constructions and all, there'll be some middleman, and the middleman will be such that he will say positively, "Oh, everything will get done. You will give the money to them. They will swallow half of it, and then they will go and talk something else to them, and the final party. So there will be lot of duplicitous dealings that will go on, cheating that will go on. So you see how even after getting the land, so many challenges Prabhupada has to face. Now you see a beautiful thing coming up. So anybody would like to read now? Take over from Mataji.
Hare Krishna, can I read, Prabhu?
Of course, Mataji. Please go ahead.
So from here, under Prabhupada's guidance, right, Prabhu?
Hmm. No, sorry.
Sorry. Next page.
Verudavi Mataji was reading the next morning Bhagavan. That will be complete now, Mataji.
Yeah. The next morning,
So,
Bhagwan.
yes, okay. Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
The next morning, Bhagwan and I were a little apprehensive about how Prabhupada would present his decision to Mr. Sethi and how Mr. Sethi would take it. And we waited anxiously for Mr. Sethi to arrive in Prabhupada's room. As usual, he came around 10 and sat on the floor before Prabhupada. We all knew that he had come for the additional 5,000 rupees. So, what do you think? Prabhupada asked him. Should we do it? Yes, Mr. Sethi replied, because otherwise we are not getting the permission. All right, Prabhupada said without hesitation, just the opposite of the previous night's conclusion, and he arranged the money for Mr. Sethi.
This is amazing. 4 hours he discussed. In the end, he said, we are not going to give money to Sethi. Then when he comes in front, he gives the money. He says, okay, take additional 5,000 rupees. This is like, Vaishnava Kriya Vijnana Bhujaya, like that. There's one statement is there, but the actions of a pure Vaishnava is very difficult to uh, understand, difficult to conceive. And we have seen this many times with our Guru Maharaj also, Maharaj Musa Maharaj, Parapuja Maharaj Musa Maharaj. He would tell, okay, let's go get this land. Then you'll say, man, what will we do with that land? In the current thing itself, we will develop. Yes, Maharaj will say. No, it will be good opportunity to do. Next moment, let's go and try anyway. What is the loss? Yes, Maharaj will do. And not only that, we'll go up to the point of getting to the car, and then he will say, okay, no, let's not go now. Let's no go some other day. Or this is not worth doing now. Like that, so many times we see them going back and forth. So once one of the senior devotees, he asked Maharaj, why it is that you're going so much back and forth on this thing? Yes, no, yes, no. Like Maharaj said, see, it's not me doing it. I am listening. I am listening to the voice, Krishna's voice in the heart. So one time he says yes, one time he says no. So I have to go by what he is saying. So Krishna is yet to decide what to do. He is finding his own this thing to do. So I am not going back and forth. There's a big difference between our dilly dallying. They call it as dilly dallying, na, or in a dilemma, going back and forth. Our dilly dallying is more on the material front. We are governed by the material modes because our dilly dallying depends on how much I will be getting out of it. So if there is any profit less for me, or if my efforts are not truly reciprocated or acknowledged, then I will not go there. But in the Acharya's case, they do everything for Krishna's sake. So for them, Krishna is so dynamic that he will keep switching back and forth, back and forth. Krishna, it's not that Krishna is indecisive. Krishna is dynamic. Every moment he is expanding, isn't it? So he will say, it's just Leela. He wants to do, he has to take his devotees. And that is what we said, Snigdeshu Pandashu Jagat Pranatincha Vishnu. Snigdeshu means malleable to the will of the Lord. Whatever Krishna says, they will be ready to do. One day he says, go to the forest, they go to the forest. One day he says, go and govern this place, become the king of this thing, do it on this way. Yeah, he will do it. Next day they go and fight, they go and fight. The other day you kill, he says, even to Arjuna till the point of Ashwatthama, Ashwatthama was chased. At that time Krishna said, you have to kill. Krishna and Bhima were the ones who said, you have to kill Ashwatthama. Yudhishthira Maharaj and Draupadi and all, they said, no, forgive him. So Krishna put him in a difficult spot. And then finally he gave the intelligence to him to forgive also. So that's why Krishna is always, he puts us in this situation so that we will come to surrender. Otherwise, what will happen is, if whatever Krishna says has to be fixed only, then what we will do? We will fix ourselves only to one side of the result. We will not be ready to take the second side of the result. You got it? Only the positive result we will be interested in taking. Suppose the result is negative, then I will not be interested in taking it, facing it or accepting it. So that is not full surrender. You understand? Full surrender is either you go this way or this way. I am yours. Matprana natasya sayevan matprana. Right? So he may put us in a very big position, or he may put us down, crush us under the down. We don't change our conviction that Krishna is our ultimate supreme friend and well-wisher, supreme Lord. Right? So that our spiritual masters and acharyas, they want to bring us to this kind of a situation. That is why there is always, even in the Shastras also, you will see sometimes the messages are going one way, another way, like that. So you will be finding that why Krishna is saying like this in one place or saying like this in another place, like that. But then the both sides have its own value. Both sides have its own weightage. According to the situation, he handles the things differently. You understand? Say, for example, Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni caused Ambarish Maharaj, but he was chased out, right? He was chased and chased all the way to Vaikunta. Hmm? But Agastya Muni caused Indradimna Maharaj. But Agastya Muni was not punished. Indradimna Maharaj had to take next birth as Gajendra. So how do you tally this? We will have this discussion at a later point. So nice thing that we can think of. Even Parishit Maharaj was cursed by Sringi. So there are many such cases which we have to wait, balance it out and see how, analyze how, why Krishna allowed one case and did not allow one case, like that. So at the end of the day, all these things are brought for are put in. We are allowed to face the different sides of Krishna, to enjoy or experience the anubhav, to get the anubhava of Krishna's dynamic nature. He will do anything and everything, but still we enjoy him. So there is no point of only if Krishna do like this, I will serve him. Then it becomes a conditional. Devotional service is supposed to be unconditional. Krishna ignores me also and supports Duryodhana also, I will serve him. Krishna supports me and ignores Duryodhana also, I will support him. I will serve him. That is how our nature should be. He sends me to forest also, I will serve him. He puts me as a king in some place also, I will serve him. This is real devotional service, loving devotional service, uninterrupted and unmotivated. So Krishna wants to bring us that. Spiritual master is kind enough to give us the experience in this life itself, even though we are not qualified. We are qualified only if we surpass the three modes of nature. But even before surpassing the three modes, by their loving disposition towards us, they are giving us that experience. Especially when those who are personally serving, they will get to see this part of the experience very nice. Hmm? Okay, so now Maharaj is going. Sorry, somebody is having any point to share here, or we're going to read? Mataji, you're going to read, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just one point.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just to add to what you were saying, Prabhuji, Krishna also promised that he will not pick any weapon, and then eventually he picks that in Mahabharata.
Yes, yes.
He promised
Yes.
that, and then
Yeah, and that is why he could have taken any sword or any gada or anything lying down on the ground, but he specifically took the chariot of the wheel, wheel of the chariot, because you can neither consider this as a weapon or not as a.
Yes.
So,
yes,
like the nails of Nrsimha, no, you neither can consider it as a weapon nor as a weapon, right? Or nor as a not weapon, right? So it's like that. It's always with Krishna, it is bit busy, 50-50 only. Even his appearance time is 12 o'clock. You can either consider as a previous day or next day. So it's all about, then to break the fast, how to break the fast, everything will be confusion only. Anyway, but there is some nice sweet experience in those indecisive things. Thank you, Prabhu, for that. So, yes, Mataji, you can continue reading because Maharaj is going to say something very interesting here. What we discussed more or less, Maharaj will summarize it here.
Bhagwan and I were amazed and somewhat bewildered by what has transpired, but then we considered what lessons we might have been meant to learn from the incident. One was that Prabhupada was training us to evaluate the situation from every angle. He had always said that intelligence means to see the same thing from different angles of vision. We also considered that he was teaching us not to be naive or engineers with regards to even our best friends, such as Mr. Sethi, but to always be cautious and careful. Further, we considered that by agreeing to give Mr. Sethi the money, Prabhupada was showing that even though we should be alert to the possibility of cheating, we should give a good friend the benefit of doubt.
See how
We should
nice
not,
this is. How
every
nice this
point.
is. We have to be careful about not getting cheated, but at the same time, should give the benefit of to a good friend. So that is where Prabhupada is teaching a very important lesson by his action. While behind the scenes, there will be a lot of discussions that happens. When the person comes in front of us, we have to give the benefit of doubt to him. That's the real mood there. Hmm.
We should not offend or hurt him. And then we considered that the Juhu project was so important that even if the money was lost, it was worth taking the chance because somehow, if we could get the permission, it would be wonderful for Srila Prabhupada's preaching and service to Sri Sri Radha Rasbihari. Ultimately, Srila Prabhupada was teaching us surrender. It is said that if the Guru tells the disciple that a rope is a snake, the disciple will respond, yes, it is a snake. And that if the Guru then says, no, it is a rope, the disciple will agree. This is a basic principle of obedience to the spiritual master. And Prabhupada was showing us that, like Lord Chaitanya, he could take any side of an argument and defeat any other.
This is a very interesting thing. This a similar thing that this one is Smaranam Maharaj also told us that if the spiritual master shows you the phone and tells that it is a computer, you should say yes, it is a computer. If he says it is if a computer and shows that it is a phone, you have to say it is a phone. So to that extent, you should be you may know that it is wrong, but still we should give that benefit of doubt, or not the benefit of doubt. We should still accept that spiritual master is at a higher plane. He is at a higher plane of his consciousness, and he knows things. He sees things from a different perspective, and that is where many devotees fail to understand Prabhupada when he said these Americans never went to moon.
Yes.
Many of them, in fact, left the movement because they thought that Prabhupada is lost his senses. He is in front of us. They are showing this landing in the moon, but still Prabhupada is not accepting. But that time Prabhupada didn't care. But if they went in, say, 68 or 70 or something, sometime around the 60s and 70s only, they first went to the moon, right? Right. So how many years that is? Almost 55, 60 years, 55 years, right? So with all the advanced technology, why no one else went to the moon again? In the entire world, nobody else went to the moon except that Neil Armstrong and another person. Nobody else went. So that is why there's a lot of this what is that controversy about this whole moon landing thing itself is a hoax, they call it. And many NASA scientists themselves don't agree. They tell openly that they just did some shooting in the Arizona desert, which looks very similar to the moon's thing, and they are showing this. So Prabhupada asked a very simple thing. Okay, they went to the moon, they found something there. All these years, they did not open one pawn shop also there. They go everywhere and all the other lands in the air, in this world, in the Earth planet, and go and capture that and build big things. Right? Why can't they go build some pawn shop at least there? Even if it doesn't have any sales are there, still they can claim that hey, we have built a pawn shop. Why did they didn't do that? So it is actually, this is what Prabhupada's questions were. Until now, many of the materialist scientists itself, they don't agree. From America itself, they don't agree that Americans have landed in the moon. So this is like this. When spiritual master something in there inconceivable sometimes, but we should accept the fact that they are seeing from a different platform, different plane of consciousness, and then we may not be able to understand that. But if we surrender fully, then they will take us and show. Like say, for example, the father is there, the child is there. Father's height is higher, so both of them are going to the shop. In the shopping mall, the father will see at his height whatever is there. The child can only see from the bottom whatever lower level this thing, right? That is why if you see all these chocolates, dairy milks, biscuits, they are all kept on the lower level. So that is a shopping strategy. If you go to any shops, they will be on the lower level. All the eating items, chocolates and everything. So that they will, the children will see and then they will shout to Papa, Papa, give me that, get me that. So if the child has to see what is in the top, so the father has to lift and show. And when the father is lifting, if we are refusing and rebelling, then the father will just leave. If you cry, then you leave him down. And when he's lifting, if you are afraid that oh he will drop me, then you will also not get to see the on the top, the higher thing. So that is why this whatever we are seeing this world, it's all I'm thinking from the mind. Vidhi Maya Manomayam says. Yadida Manasa Vacha Chakshurbyam Shravanadibhi. Manasa, by mind you are thinking, Vacha you are speaking, Chakshurbyam by eyes you are seeing, Shravanadibhi you are hearing in this world. everything that is doing in this material world, material senses, Viddhi Maya Manomayam is. Nashwaram Grihya Manamsha. Means it will be correct in one point of view, another point of view will be different. Or one day it will be one way, another way it will be different. It will change completely. It's Nashwaram. And we Grihya Manamsha, that which is very temporary, they are holding on to it tightly. That's why Chakshura Karanadivihi, Nashwaram Grihya Manamsha Viddhi Maya Manomaya. What the spiritual master and Krishna are showing us is things which are beyond the control of the three modes. So for that, I am under the control of the mode, so I will be down, right? So instead of us seeing low, if we raise our hand and surrender to them, then they will lift us and show us what is higher up. So that is the thing that Maharaj is so beautifully sharing his realization. Okay, so let's continue. He is going to continue on this point. So, sorry, Gaurav Prabhu was raising his hand.
Just one point, Prabhu, just wanted to ask. I mean, Mr. Sethi, they were putting all this trust in him. So in our general life also, I mean, if we trust somebody, so it means that we should always be alert with our dealing, especially when it comes to money. Even if somebody is trustworthy, and we should look at things from all angles, right, Prabhuji?
And that's what Maharaj is telling in the first paragraph, Prabhu. That Maharaj says one was that Prabhupada was saying, what is that? He had always said that intelligence meant to see the same thing from different angles of vision. So, not to be naive. Naive means easily cheated. Not like that. You see everything. You know, Sethi may be honest, but to the person whom he is giving, is he honest?
Okay.
So all these things we have to understand, right? So that's why Prabhupada is saying that analyze from all, especially because you are in the management and administrative thing. There is, if you are cheated, then the problem is that when we are managing, Prabhu's Mataji, so when we are managing or organizing things, coordinating, in charge of something, we are dealing with others' time, others' money, others' energy, and everything. So we may not be so much worried about when my money is lost, but all others' money is lost, then we are answerable.
Answerable.
Suppose if you have got the money from all the life members and you are given to somebody and they cheat and go, then next time you cannot go and stand in front of them. They will say you are not good at managing. Give it to us, we will manage. Right? So that is why people always appreciate when somebody is good with. Maharaj used to tell one thing, that if you have to be a good manager, you have to value the time, money, and energy. All these are of others. Others' time, money, and energy. We should be very, when we start the class and end the class on time, both are starting and ending on time, then we are good managers. Or when we arrange prasadam, we bring it on time, we do the offering on time, and we get ready for on time, and we are good managers. Because we are neither wasting our time nor wasting others' time. So like this, there are management does not mean you have to do big things. The same thing you have to expand it into higher level. That's all. I may be good at managing one or two people's time. The same thing, if you have to manage big temple or some big project you are constructing, some farm community or something you are constructing, then so many more people involved in it. Their time, their money, their energy, everything we have to be very careful that we don't waste it, and also we utilize it in serving Krishna, in engaging them in the service of Krishna. Okay.
Yes,
nice
Prabhuji.
point, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So who is reading now? Maybe Kamalji Mataji, continue.
Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Please.
While working on getting the permission to build from the municipal corporation, Mr. Sethi was also helping us build the additional floors on the existing buildings, but it appeared that some of the work and materials were below standard. Some of the wood was full of holes and defects. So Prabhupada directed us to oversee the work and materials more carefully. He had engaged Mr. Sethi to supervise the construction and had put his trust in him. But it appeared that none of the work was being done that well, albeit some was possible. When the rotten wood came to the site, Prabhupada became very disturbed and chastised us. He quoted a Bengali saying that a goldsmith, while fashioning some gold, his mother gave him to make into a ring, thinks, should I use all the gold for the ring or put some in my pocket? This type of cheating was so much a part of the goldsmith's business, Prabhupada said, that even if his own mother gave him gold to make an ornament, he would think, should I cheat and keep some for myself? Similarly, construction business was such that someone in it would automatically think, should I make some extra money for myself? You could not engage in the business, procuring materials and paying bribes and getting permits without some cheating, no matter whose money it was.
Similarly, we saw that now when Sanatana Goswami is traveling with that servant, he ate gold coins. He had still he kept one more gold coin for himself. So that cheating mentality is always there. That's why the four defects is there now. The cheating propensity is always there. How much ever you give, extra one you give, they will still accept. There is one person who said he's not a he's from the village. He said something very interesting, which is profound. We were giving some Lakshmi's bribe, and they kept asking for more and more and more. Then I asked this person, uh, why people are not satisfied with. Already we are giving more money. Why are they asking for more? And he said something very interesting. People, the man, generally said a man will say enough only for food. If you feed him up to net, then say enough. You will not eat beyond. You cannot eat beyond that. Anything else you give, he will keep asking for. How much ever you give more, he will still asking for more. It's a very interesting thought, I thought. That's fair, because he's physically he can't eat more than up to neck also is full. And they say, you say, no, enough. They say. But you give some wealth, you give them big property, whatever property or money or whatever. How much ever you give, on top of it, they'll ask more. Or you give enough, and then you give some more also, then they'll take it still. They will not say, no, you already gave enough, this is not needed. Nobody will say that. Very interesting. So, yeah, let's continue this.
On January 19th, Mr. Sethi said that he would get permission to build the project minus the temple in 2 or 4 days, and on the third day he got it. Prabhupada was jubilant and called for another cornerstone laying ceremony. He had already
So this
held
is a very interesting thing. Prabhupada said so many cornerstone ceremony in this place that at least 4 or 5, each of the building he wanted to do that. But you see how Prabhupada's thing came true, that finally he got the permission at least for the rest of the buildings. No, only temple they were objecting, but all other presidential quarters or office rooms, that and all they are okay to do. So this is nice. Please continue, Mataji.
He had already held a groundbreaking and cornerstone laying ceremony when we had first moved to the land in March 1972 and another ceremony on Ramanavami 1974. But he wanted one now to signify the beginning of the main construction. He devised a festival wishing to invite all our life members and friends in Bombay. Immediately you make a ceremony tomorrow, he directed, and then the next day I will leave. We informed whatever members we could, especially.
So this is January 1975.
70.
Because already Ramnavami 1974 one was done. Here this April was thing, we are going to get Ramnavami in another 3 days, of course. Okay. Please continue.
We informed whatever members we could, especially the intimate ones like Kartikeya, Mahadevya, and Mr. Vasisht, a retired school principal living in Juhu, whom Prabhupada had initiated as Dikshit Dasa and who spoke at the ceremony, some of the neighbors, and of course Mr. Sethi. With his own hand, Prabhupada applied the mortar around the cornerstone and fixed it in the bricks. Then he spoke about his mission. I will not take much of your time, but I shall try to convince you what is the purpose of this consciousness movement. The purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement is to save the human society from becoming animals, cows, and asses. People have established, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, an animal or asuric civilization. The beginning of asuric civilization is pravrittim. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jananam vidur asuraha. In the asuric demonic civilization, people do not know in which way they have to guide themselves for attaining the perfection of life, pravritti and nivritti, what is favorable and unfavorable. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidur asuraha na shaucham napi chacharaha. There is no cleanliness nor good behavior. Na satyam teshu vidyate. And there is no truth in their life. This is the beginning of demoniac civilization.
See, one thing, if you can observe here, that why Prabhupada is doing so many cornerstone laying ceremony.
Can you repeat, Prabhu?
Why is he doing so many cornerstone laying ceremony?
Honest.
At least 3-4 years done already.
So, maybe cornerstone in the sense every corner. So, something like protection or.
Maybe he
No, he
wanted
is
to keep
using that as
everybody.
an opportunity. Yeah, he wants to use that as an opportunity for preaching. Otherwise, you see here, he is talking about demoniac civilization and all that. When in the cornerstone laying ceremony, he will talk about what is going to do, what is this project for, and all those things, right? But he is talking everything from Bhagavad Gita. He's giving a Bhagavad Gita class. It's exactly a Bhagavad Gita class here. You can't call these people every day to see the business people. Normally, our Indians, we go only for special events, even to our relatives' home or something. If there is some festivals, Diwali and all, we will go. Onam, Diwali, or whatever the local festivals, Christmas and all these things. So people will go and meet each other. Other than that, or even to go to the temples for that matter, they will go for New Year, they will go for, say, some Janmashtami or one of those days only they will go. Every day you call them to the temple, they will not come. So it's a huge, difficult task to bring people to the temple every day. And not only that, bring them to the temple also is easy, it is okay. But after that, making them sit and listen to Bhagavad Gita is impossible. So Prabhupada, when he says cornerstone laying ceremony, Prabhupada is calling, then they will all come. They will say, oh, good. There's something that, because everybody wants some material progress, only then they will go. Right? So it is very important to understand the reason why Prabhupada is doing this. Prabhupada is just doing cornerstone laying ceremonies, every other thing. It's not a big deal. They'll just do some puja, they will do and go away. So our people are interested in these rituals. They like the ceremonies. They like this some yajnas or something, or some pujari coming and sitting doing this, some chanting some mantras and all that. But they are not interested in the philosophy behind all these things. But Prabhupada wanted us to get the philosophy behind the whole thing. Get us to the. That is what his greatest achievement is, to make the Indians come to Bhagavad Gita and try to learn the essence inside Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Otherwise, you simply do puja. And when I say puja is good, but doing a ritualistic puja is of no use. Right? So that's a very nice thing. So, yeah, so we'll continue reading this because Prabhupada is going to say something very interesting. He's going to practically give a Bhagavad Gita class here.
Prabhu, just one more point. Did Prabhupada wanted to keep everyone motivated by doing that? I mean, milestone like
Yeah, because Prabhu,
especially.
you're right, Prabhu. That point is very, very good point. Because what happens is normally we want to see some progress happening. Anything that we do in this material world, we want some progress. Say the child is studying, we want him to go from say fifth standard to sixth standard or sixth standard, seventh standard college to working or higher thing, whatever. And if you're working in a, it's a material way of understanding things, but that gives an encouragement. So Prabhupada knew that people who are day to day dealing with the material things, their mind will be material only. Even for us, when you see, how many times, Prabhu, we are asking this question, right? Prabhuji, many times I am doing this service, but I don't feel any advancement in my Krishna consciousness. What do you
Yes,
mean by
Prabhu.
Prabhu? Why do you talk about what do you mean advancement? Normally, we don't think about the satisfaction that we get in our life or the chanting that we do or the services that we do, insignificant service also we do. We are not happy with that. We want advancement because I want to first I will be a pot washer, but I want to become a leader of the pot washer. That is what I understand as advancement. I want to. Then somebody said, Prabhuji, you are in the movement for 20 years. Still, you are washing the pots. Now you should have 10 people under you. They should wash the pot, and you should only train them. Otherwise, it is not advancement. Because that is how material world is trained us, right? If you are at a work, you are doing the same work for 15 years or 20 years. People say he's not advancing at all. He doesn't have any advancement in his career. So the same pattern of thinking, we are bringing it to our spiritual life also. But Prabhupada knew that this is actually not the right way of understanding. Whatever has to happen in due course. But we don't do with the aim that today I am this, next day I will be a leader, I will say team leader, then a big project I will handle, then I will have multiple such projects I will handle. That is not our aim in Krishna consciousness or devotional service. Our service is 2 million service, that's all. Everything, anything that comes our way, we do it with full heart. That's the whole idea. But at the same time, Prabhupada knows that those people who are supporting us from outside, like the well-wishers, this Kartikeya, Mahadevya, then the Birlas and the Malhotras and all the others who are Mehtas and all that, they are day in and day out, they are in the material world and they're successful in it by doing this. Now, because you are dealing with the material energy also, these people who are supporting in times of difficulties, they would like to see something growing. Suppose you go and collect some Lakshmi saying that I have a land, I have built the temple. In 10 years, there is nothing comes, then what will happen? The people will say you're cheated. And that's what it happened. Some devotees came and they said we are making life members and we are using that money to build a temple. And they got a lot of Lakshmi and they went away. So the next time, after a few years, when Maharaj went there, he didn't know about this whole thing. What has happened? So he and a couple of his servants, when they went to meet these people, they didn't know that these people were already given. They have already given money, and nothing came out of it. So when he went and met those people, are very upset, and they were starting to shout bad things about Islam. Then Maharaj had to deal with them by his loving dealings. He had to make them understand that no, these things, don't worry about it. We are doing it in a humble way, definitely. Now the temple is standing. So Maharaj said, every single penny that I am getting from you, every single rupee that I am getting from you, it directly goes into this service. He told us that not one penny I will waste. Please have faith in me. I will not waste a single penny of yours that you give as donation to Krishna. So to that extent, he was so much pure that he used everything in Krishna service. Now that when he is utilizing whatever we are giving into our hard-earned Lakshmi donation, when he is putting it in Krishna service, then our life also develops. We also in our life we also develop that devotional service. Our devotional service, our love also intensifies more. That is the duty of a spiritual master or someone who is engaged in such seva. And because Prabhupada knew that all these people have this, he expertly handled them. And that is how all of them, even after Prabhupada's departure, they supported so much. In Bhaktivedanta manner, for example, George Harrison gave the building, but gave that place and his castle, whatever. But when the surrounding neighboring communities, when they saw that we have built some Hindu temple there, they all protested and they filed a case in the court, and our temple was banned for some time. I mean, our activities in the temple were banned for some time, for a year or two, I don't know, but it was, I think it was after Prabhupada's departure, if I'm not wrong. Then what happened? Our devotees got help from all the other Indian community there, were there, and they went on a big march in the protest march in the streets of London. And finally, the court granted this. So everywhere there will be opposition, but then during those such periods, you need to get the support of the outside people also, who are well wishers. So that is why it is very important to build a good rapport with the outside world. If you just force yourself within your cocoon, then it's not. When we are in difficulty, nobody will come to help us. And unfortunately or fortunately, we have to deal with these people, the government and cheating people in our life. There is no escape route out to that. And Prabhupada showed us by his personal example. He could have sat down and written Mahabharata and Ramayana and everything in this time of dealing with this whole. Especially the time that is spent for Juhu, he could have written 10 more scriptures and finished it. How personally he is dealing with each one of them, that's a beauty.
In fact, I was reading, Prabhuji, I think Prabhupada finished fifth canto when he was in Juhu at this time, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, right. And he is dealing with that also. He is giving classes also. And he's traveling everywhere. And even see this cornerstone laying ceremony also, immediately after that he was going to leave. He said, the previous page, immediately you make the ceremony tomorrow. He directed, and then the next day I will leave. He doesn't stay beyond that. Now I got various people to come and see that, okay, some progress is being made. I will leave. Now you people again get their help and get things moving. That's just mistake. This was making point here. Through various milestone events, Srila Prabhupada wants to convey the benefits of building a temple for people. That are very beautiful realization. Yeah. So it's very important. See, now, while building the temple, what for we are building the temple? To give this message to the whole world. What he is speaking now. It's a whole Bhagavad Gita class that he is giving. Right? Otherwise, only the devotees sit and listen. What to speak of the outside people? Point is to make everybody appreciate message of Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay, let's go further. Thank you so much, Vishnu. It's a very nice video.
Satyam, there is no truthfulness. And the first class life means the Brahmana life. Satyam Saucham. The beginning is Satyam. The Asuric life is not Satya, no truth. And the first class life in human society, the Brahmins is Satyam and Tapas Saucham Shantir Arjavam Evacha Gnananam Vignanam Astikyam. Our Krishna consciousness movement is to create a class of ideal first-class men with Satyam, Shaucham, Tapo, Sama, Dama, Titiksha. This is godly civilization. And this godly civilization can be given to the whole world by India. That is India's special privilege. And we selected this Bombay city. Bombay is the best.
See how he is so nicely coming. Prabhu's strategy is, if you have to learn how to preach, you just listen and read Prabhupada's lectures, read the transcription of Prabhupada's lectures. It's so amazing. He first gives the problem statement, which is the demoniac culture and everything. Then he is coming to the point that we are doing this Krishna conscious movement to reduce this asuric bhava and increase the devotional bhava. And then he is coming to next thing, he will come to Bombay, why we are selected Bombay. Please continue.
Our Krishna conscious movement is to create a class of, that's all. And we selected Bombay, that's also. The people are very nice, religiously inclined, opulent. They can take up better things very nicely. Therefore, I wanted to start this center, Bombay, for spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. Although there have been many impediments in my endeavor, still ultimately it is Krishna's business. It will come successful. So today the foundation and cornerstone establishment was done 2 years before, but there were many impediments from the Asuric Jana people. Now, some way or other, we have got a little relief from such impediments. So we are putting this cornerstone this auspicious day, and I'm very glad that you have joined us. So involving
Anyone else would want
everybody.
to take over?
Yeah, anybody wants to take.
Anyone
I
want
want to share
take?
the screen, Prabhu.
It's already
Managed to fix
shared,
it.
Prabhu.
Yeah, I
It's okay.
know, but
Someone is already doing it. No worries. You want to read, Prabhu? Rakesh Prabhu? Before that, I
yeah,
think Binti Mataji is having is raised her hand. If you have a question or comment, Mataji?
I wanted to read actually.
Oh, you wanted to read. Okay. Maybe you go ahead and read, Mataji.
Okay. So the mission is very, very authorized, and it comprehends a large jurisdiction of activities. Therefore, my request is that the inhabitants of Bombay, especially those who are our members, kindly take active part to make this institution successful in Bombay. So many ladies and gentlemen are present here. Whatever we are doing is not whimsical or mental concoction. It is authorized and just to the standard of Bhagavad Gita. So make this acha, so make this center successful. You ladies and gentlemen of Bombay, we have got very nice place. We are building so that you can come and stay here at least on the weekend. Those who are retired elderly ladies and gentlemen can come here and stay. We will have sufficient place, but try to organize these principles of Bhagavad Gita all over the world. That will be the gift of India. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desired that anyone who has taken birth in India as a human being, Bharata Bhumite Haila Manushya Janma Yara जन्म सार्थक करी कर पर उपकार. Should I continue? Anyone
Continue.
who has taken his birth as human being in India, Bharata Bhumi, first of all, make your life successful because you have got the standard how to make life successful. Here in Bhagavad Gita, try to understand it. Make your life successful and then broadcast this message all over the world. That is paropkara, working for the benefit of others. India's people are meant for paropkara, not for exploiting others. That is not our mission, but actually that is being done. Everyone goes out of India to exploit. Not now, for the first time, India is giving something to the outsiders, their spiritual knowledge, and the proof you can see. We are giving, we are not taking. We do not go to beg. Give me wheat, give me money, give me this, give me that. No, we are giving something substantial, and they are feeling obliged. Otherwise, why these young men and girls are after this Krishna conscious movement? They are feeling something that they are getting something tangible. So it has got potency, very good potency. That, sorry, they are not feeling like Americans or Canadians or Australians. And we are not feeling like Indians. On the spiritual platform, we are all one. So this is a great culture, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Those responsible ladies and gentlemen present here make this center very successful and come here and study Bhagavad Gita as it is. Without any foolish interpretation. I say foolish again and again because interpretation is not at all required. Everything is clear from the very beginning. So try to understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, make your life successful, and spread this message all over the world. You will be happy, and the world will be happy. I am a very old man now, 80 years old. My life is finished. But I want some responsible Indians and combined with people from other countries. Other countries are giving good cooperation. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for me to spread in such a short time. only 7 or 8 years to preach this cult all over the world. So I require the cooperation of the Indians, especially the educated young men. Come forward, stay with us, study Bhagavad Gita. We haven't got men. Come forward. We haven't got to manufacture anything. And what we can manufacture, we are all imperfect. Whatever is there, let us study it and practically apply in life and spread the message all over the world. So today is a very auspicious day. With great difficulty, we have got now sanction. Now please cooperate with this attempt as far as possible with your praner, arther, vacha, four things by your life, by your words, by your money. Praner, arther, diya, vacha, shreya, archana,
Acharanam
archana,
Sada.
sada. This is the mission of human life. Whatever you have got, it is not that because I am poor man, I cannot help this movement. No, you have got your life. So if you dedicate your life, that is all perfect. If you cannot dedicate your life, give some money. But if you are a poor man, you cannot give money. Then give some intelligence. And if you are a fool, then give your words. So, in any way, you can help this movement and do welfare activities for India and outside India. That is
Give
my
your
request.
words means what? Like sharing, basically, like telling somebody, hey, this is a nice thing, please come. That is also at least inviting somebody to come, propagating that way also. Yes, continue, Mataji.
That is my request. I welcome you and you study. We have got now enough books. There is no difficulty to study our books. We have given an English translation. Every gentleman knows English. And we are going to give in Hindi, Gujarati, and all other languages. Our friends have already begun translating. So there will be no scarcity of knowledge. Please come here, sit down at least once in a week, study all these books, try to understand the philosophy of life, and spread all over the world. That is the mission of Bharata Varsha. This is Paropakara movement to do welfare to others, not like cats and dogs, simply bring money and enjoy the senses. This is not human life. Human life is for Paropakara. People are in ignorance, without knowledge of God, without the ideal of life. They are simply working like cats and dogs and hogs. They should be educated. Human life is the chance for getting such education. And this is the center for educating the human society to become actually human beings and make his life successful.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. That's the end of the lecture. See how nice is Maharaj here. Huh? See, he's not simply describing the events. In that process, he's making us go through or read and hear Prabhupada's lectures also. So it's a like a, the whole event is unfolding in front of us as if you are also part of that entire, say, the 5-6 years of that journey. Now, the sweet thing is after this lecture, now Prabhupada is talking to the few devotees who are with him maybe in a room. So please read this small part and stop here.
So, should I continue?
Continue this part.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. The next day, January 24, after staying in Juhu for almost 3 months and finally getting permission to build, Prabhupada left for Hong Kong. And afterwards, in quick succession, he visited Tokyo, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Mexico City,
Caracas,
Caracas, Miami,
Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, New York,
Dallas,
and then
New
Tehran.
York, London, and Tehran. In London
My
on March,
God, is someone traveling to all these places within 2 months, 1 month time? See, this in London on March 11. Okay, Jan 24 to London is the last but one part. Tehran before Tehran. So Jan 24 is almost end of January. So it's about 45 days maximum. 46 days maximum. In 45 days, how many places we covered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 countries, not just cities. I mean to say 11 places, 11 cities, of course, but the US is as good as traveling so many continents, I mean, with so many different time zones. Who can do this? Hmm? Simply impossible. And 80 years of age, by the way. And not just going and sleeping, continuously giving classes, continuously meeting people. He had no time left. And in between writing books. In between, most of his time was spending books during this time. This 75 and 1975, 76 are the period, 74, 75, 77 period when the movement boomed like anything. Everywhere people are joining and hundreds and thousands. So it was very difficult to handle the whole thing. But Prabhupada had to give initiations to most of the maximum initiations happened during this time. Before that, it was all small, like few. But later, was too many were there. To get the initiations. Please continue, Mataji.
In London on March 11, he reflected on his efforts in Bombay. Brahmananda, referring to one of Prabhupada's youthful exploits, said, "You must have been very brave." Yes,
So
Prabhupada
he is
replied.
asking, in your young age, you would have been very brave in your youth.
Yes, Prabhupada replied, "I am still brave." And the devotees laughed. Otherwise, how could I come alone to preach Krishna consciousness? I am still brave. Jai Shila Prabhupada, the devotees exclaimed. Some astrologer told that this boy, for executing his purpose, will enter into the fire. He continued. Yes,
Such an amazing statement. Huh? For executing his purpose, he can enter into the fire. Hmm? So
yes.
nice.
Recently, in our Bombay affair, it was fight with fire, is it not? Oh, yes, Brahmananda agreed, and we have come out victorious. Yes, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So many obstacles, Prabhupada said, and still going on. Now, the governor is cornered, the governor of Maharashtra in Bombay. If he says yes, that is dangerous for him. If he says no, that is also dangerous.
So they written the letter to Uttar Pradesh governor, no, Channa Reddy. So, because he's friend of Prabhupada, he would recommend to this person. If he says yes, then he will have to get the this thing from the backlash from the others family, whoever is against our this thing. And if he says no, then also he will be caught in the bureaucratic thing quagmire. It's very interesting. We'll stop here. Any final thoughts, questions, comments, reflections? Very nice thing today, and some more is still coming. Very sweet things are coming in the next few pages.
But I
Yes,
think every devotee in ISKCON should read these books, Prabhuji.
yeah,
Practically know what has happened.
yeah,
Because otherwise, we do not know. Everything is on a platter now, ready. So we do not know the difficulties at all. This book is so wonderful, really.
yeah,
Everybody should go through this book. Really.
yeah.
How much
So
of a
nice.
pain he has taken, Prabhupada, and how step by step he is telling everybody who has assembled there for that corner stone laying ceremony, step by step. Slowly he is giving all positive, having them inspired, You come, stay
Yeah.
here, read Bhagavad Gita, get benefit. So he is so much interested in the well-being of people,
And we
really.
see how not only Bombay, in Vrindavan, in Mayapur, anywhere you take, all over the world you take, anywhere devotees can go stay, spend some time and get energized by the temple environment,
Absolutely.
How early morning to night, there are always services
Right.
continuous.
Yes.
Prabhupada has actually fought against the stereotyped this way of living, living in this world. He completely took us into an opposite direction. Say there is another way of living also, which you can consider, because that is not the original thing. This you have completely deviated from this whole thing, and you have gone into an anti-Vedic way. That's why you are suffering. Come back to this experience a little bit. My Guru Maharaj always used to say us that don't worry, you just take 3 days off, come and stay in the Rajkot or Dwarka, and this fresh air will energize you. I have experienced it personally. Whenever I was very sick, I go the first ever time I traveled to Dwarka. I traveled with 102 degrees, 103 degrees temperature. And that was also in car up to Jamnagar. Then, sorry, in flight up to this thing, and then car. By Jamnagar, from Jamnagar to Dwarka, I was traveling alone. I was not even able to sit. I was lying down in the back seat, and they took me all the way there. And when I went there, I was like a half. There is that I was like, Maharaj just saw me, and then he said, "Oh, you traveled long way. You go take prasadam first." He said. Then he heard the whole story. How I came all the way from Chennai to Bombay, Bombay to Jamnagar, Jamnagar to Dwarka. Uh, then Maharaj was very surprised, and you won't believe it. I didn't take a single medicine, nothing, just prasadam. That night I stayed in the Dwarka, that open thing, open floor, the store thing, terrace. And the next day morning, I didn't know where the fever went. I literally didn't know where the fever went. Still, I'm searching for it. How did it go? No doctor, no medicine, nothing. Only prasadam and some sweet loving association. And all I did was just rested. And Maharaj told me, "You are not keeping well. If you don't come for Mangalarti also, it is okay. Take nice rest." And I had a good, nice sound sleep. And morning when I'm getting up, I don't know where the fever went. Next 2-3 days were so much like Vaikuntha atmosphere also. Morning to evening, we were spending time with Maharaj, back and forth with Bhagavatam. And after the Bhagavatam class is over, I will go to him, his room, personally, and spend some time together. And he will share some nice thoughts and all that, some events, incidents. Then we'll go to the temple, Dwarka temple with him. Just because we are going with him, we will get nice royal treatment there. They receive us very nicely. And Maharaj was so very showing us all these things, So yeah, I that is a very important thing, that when you come here, come to this Vedic places where Krishna conscious atmosphere is intensely present, then you will really appreciate that. You will really. First thing is, the place itself is so fresh with God goodness. There is no exploitation of the Mother Earth happening there. Cows are treated nicely. The trees and plants are treated nicely. The devotees are there who are lovingly dealing with us. There is no question of passion and ignorance there at all. It's all about mode of goodness and love. And you have nice darshan of the deities. You take prasadam. You have very peaceful time there in any of these places you go. And that is why Prabhupada has been insisting here that you don't have to worry. Don't come and do all, don't have to worry. Just come, stay there, and go back. That's enough. So this is really true even now. Stop here. So thank you, Kamalni Mataji, for reinforcing that point that everybody should read this book. One of the devotees has gathered all the books written on Prabhupada by various devotees, disciples. Some 40-50 books are there. I will probably share the list. Maybe more are coming, but for now, so much whatever has been written, that is a good thing to go to possible. So we'll stop here, Prabhu Mataji. Our next thing will be next weekend. I'm not available. I just wanted to say that next weekend, the Friday to Sunday, that Krishna building, that seminar is there in Govardhan village, right? So I will probably not be available. So, and we also, maybe one day we can try to have one session for Bhagavatam. And then we'll probably see the following week, if because both the weekends I am a bit tied up with programs. So we may have to do 1 or 2 sessions on the week, if it is okay with you all, right? Like how we did today, 7:30 to 8:30. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Hare Krishna. Have a nice week ahead, and wish you all a very, very happy Ram Navami. Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai, Sitaram Hanuman ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much. See you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, Prabhu.
And